Argentina's economic history has been characterized by boom-bust cycles defined by hyperinflation, currency devaluations, and debt crises. This can be traced back to its colonial past, but its modern-day problems are largely the result of a combination of political uncertainty, flawed economic policies, and external factors. So, in today's video, let's take a look at Argentina's unstable economy. Argentina's economy was primarily based on agriculture in the years following its independence from Spain in 1816, with exports of wool, hides, and salted beef dominating trade. During this time, Argentina was one of the world's leading wool producers, with vast sheep ranches covering much of the Pampas region. The country's beef industry also began to grow, with large herds of cattle raised on the fertile Pampas grasslands. These products were exported to markets in Europe and North America, providing Argentina with a significant source of income. During this time, however, Argentina experienced several economic crises, including the Baring Brothers crisis in 1826, which resulted in Argentina's foreign debt default and a significant decline in trade. With frequent political instability and conflicts between different factions, the country also struggled to establish a stable government. Despite these obstacles, Argentina's economy grew during its early years of independence. As the country's population grew, so did its urban areas, with the port city of Buenos Aires emerging as an important center of trade and commerce. However, the economy remained heavily dependent on exports of primary products, leaving it vulnerable to fluctuations in global demand and prices. This dependency on exports would prove to be a recurring theme in Argentina's economic history. During the export boom period in Argentina, which lasted from approximately 1870 to 1930, the country experienced a period of rapid economic growth, driven by a surge in exports of agricultural products, particularly wheat, beef, and wool. The country was able to capitalize on rising demand for these products in Europe and North America, as well as the advancement of new transportation technologies, such as refrigerated shipping, which enabled the export of fresh beef and other perishable goods. As a result, Argentina became one of the wealthiest countries in the world, with one of the highest standards of living in Latin America. Foreign investment was critical to Argentina's economic growth, with investors from Europe and North America investing heavily in infrastructure such as railroads, ports, and telegraph lines. During this time, the country's urban areas expanded rapidly, with the construction of modern buildings, parks, and other amenities. However, there were significant social and political tensions during this time period, including conflicts between workers and landowners, as well as rising inequality. The concentration of wealth in the hands of a small elite, as well as the exploitation of workers on large estates, fueled calls for political and economic reform. With the onset of the Great Depression in the 1930s, global demand for Argentina's agricultural products fell, as did foreign investment. This ushered in a new era of economic and political challenges for the country. During the period of import substitution in Argentina, which lasted from approximately 1930 to 1976, the country focused on developing its domestic industries and reducing its reliance on exports of primary products. The goal of this policy was to protect domestic industries from foreign competition while also promoting economic development. The government enacted a variety of policies aimed at encouraging import substitution, such as high tariffs on imported goods, subsidies for domestic industries, and restrictions on foreign investment. During this time, the manufacturing sector expanded rapidly, with new industries emerging in textiles, chemicals, and steel production. While import substitution policies aided Argentina's industrial development, they also resulted in inefficiencies and corruption. Many domestic industries became overly reliant on government subsidies and protection, and some, like textiles, became uncompetitive in the global market. Political instability characterized the period of import substitution, with frequent changes in government and the emergence of left-wing and populist movements. The government frequently intervened heavily in the economy, resulting in high inflation and currency depreciation. Despite these obstacles, Argentina's economy grew during this time, and the country underwent significant social and cultural changes. The middle class expanded, and the country's cities grew rapidly, with new housing developments, shopping malls, and other amenities. However, the country's economic problems remained unresolved, and the period of import substitution proved unsustainable in the long run. During the period of neoliberal reforms in Argentina, which lasted from approximately 1976 to 2001, the country implemented a range of policies designed to promote free markets, privatization, and international trade. These policies were intended to address the economic and political problems that had plagued the country during the previous period of import substitution. The government implemented a number of reforms, including trade liberalization, privatization of state-owned industries, and financial market deregulation. The government also pursued policies to attract foreign investment, such as removing restrictions on foreign ownership of businesses and instituting tax breaks for investors. While neoliberal reforms in Argentina resulted in some economic growth and increased foreign investment, they also had significant social costs. Many state-owned industries were privatized at low prices, resulting in a wealth concentration in the hands of a small elite. As businesses became more focused on export-oriented production, the reforms resulted in significant job losses in some sectors, particularly manufacturing. Many Argentines felt that the government had abandoned its responsibilities to provide social welfare programs and economic protections for the working class as a result of the neoliberal reforms. This caused significant social unrest, culminating in the 2001 economic crisis, which resulted in widespread protests and the government's collapse. Argentina's neoliberal reform period ended with the 2001 crisis, and the country experienced significant economic and political changes in the years that followed. However, the neoliberal era's legacies continue to shape the country's economic and political landscape to this day. The period following the 2001 economic crisis in Argentina has been marked by a series of economic and political challenges, as well as some notable successes. In the aftermath of the crisis, the government implemented a range of policies designed to stabilize the economy and restore confidence in the financial system. These policies included depreciation of the peso, debt restructuring, and the implementation of new regulations to promote financial stability. Following that, Argentina experienced a period of economic growth, fueled in part by high commodity prices and increased demand for the country's agricultural and mineral exports. In addition, the government implemented a number of social welfare programs aimed at reducing poverty and inequality. The country's economy, however, has remained vulnerable to external shocks, particularly changes in commodity prices and global financial markets. Significant political challenges have also been faced by the government, including corruption scandals, social unrest, and political polarization. The country has experienced significant economic instability in recent years, with high inflation and currency depreciation causing significant economic hardship for many Argentines. The COVID-19 pandemic has only exacerbated these issues, resulting in substantial job losses and economic contraction. Despite these obstacles, some notable successes have occurred in recent years. The government has implemented renewable energy policies and has attracted significant foreign investment in this sector. The country has also made strides in addressing some long-standing social and political issues, such as judicial reform and efforts to promote greater transparency and accountability in government. Looking ahead, the country's economic and political future remains uncertain, with numerous challenges and opportunities. However, there is significant room for growth and development, especially if the government implements effective policies to address the country's economic and social challenges. In conclusion, Argentina's economic instability can be attributed to a combination of political instability, flawed economic policies, and external factors. The country has a history of relying heavily on exports, which has made it. Still, Argentina has several reasons for hope and optimism about its economic future, including its resource-rich economy, highly educated workforce, strategic location, and vibrant cultural scene. The government has implemented policies to promote investment and development in key sectors such as agriculture, mining, and renewable energy, and has the potential to become a regional hub for trade and commerce. However, realizing these opportunities will require effective policies to address economic, social, and political challenges, such as reducing poverty and inequality and promoting transparency and good governance. Argentina has the potential to become a prosperous economy in the 21st century with the right policies and investments.